can't believe I'm actually making this video. Guys, get your pen and paper. Value bombs incoming. Today's video is going to be 12 practical steps for you to start, create, build, and sell a successful online course. But I'm not just going to be telling you what to do, I'm going to be showing you. I'm going to be documenting the entire process of building a new course for my business. And not only are you getting a huge amount of value here for free, I'm also giving away this course for free. But more on that shortly. I have made almost $100,000 selling online courses and digital products for my business. But it's been quite the journey to get here, and I've picked up a lot of tips and tricks along the way. I have 3 courses for sale at the moment on my website. One being the Dishing Up Digital School. This is like my signature program for social media managers. It teaches you everything you need to know to get started, from booking your first client, deciding on your prices and packages, through to pitching, finding that first client, delivering results, contracts, invoices, literally everything under the sun. And this is my most popular course. It's the one that has sold the most, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the strategies I used creating that course shortly. The other one I have is called Get the Gram. It's an Instagram marketing course. And then finally I have GramCam, which is an Instagram photography and reels course. And we also talk a little bit about branding. I love that I always say we when it's just me. In this office, building away, and today you're gonna come along with me. In this video, I'm gonna be sharing a bunch of software. I'm going to be showing you how to come up with a course idea, how to come up with the modules, how many lessons to include, the type of video styles and lesson styles that I include in my courses. But before we dive into all of that, I wanted to start with my first tip, which is really important before you touch any of that stuff, before you start looking at Kajabi, Thinkific, all of those course websites. There's one thing you need to do, which is crucial and is going to become very important when it comes to selling your course, and that's market research. Now, I'm not someone who is completely enthralled with old school business marketing things. In fact, I actually dropped out of business studies in school in year 11 because I thought it was boring. And it's just really ironic now. I kind of wish I'd stuck with it. Might have learned some more useful things a little bit faster. But nevertheless, here we are, run a business, it's okay. But when I started learning to sell better online, whether it was my social media services, whether it was my courses, one of the things that really stood out to me with the teachers, the coaches that I hired, was the common theme around market research and just deeply understanding your audience. To me, this really means doing surveys. They have been really useful in my business, despite being a little bit painful trying to promote them, trying to encourage people to fill out surveys. They give you so much insight into what your audience wants, and that's why we do market research. I made the mistake of creating a couple of coaching programs when I first started my business that I wanted to teach. I was like, yes, people want to learn about this. I'm going to create a program on this. And no one bought my first coaching program because of that selfish kind of decision to make what I wanted. Early on in my business, I probably only had about 10 or 12 people answer my surveys, but that's still valuable information. I would share my surveys in Facebook groups, try and network with other people and get them to fill it out, because I didn't have a very big audience myself. One thing that really helps is having some sort of giveaway. So in my recent survey, I gave away a $300 voucher to use on one of my courses. This just gives people like an incentive to actually take their time to fill it out, because surveys can be lengthy and they're not super fun to fill out. So you've got to offer people something. I could talk about market research for quite some time, but I really want to move on to the next tip. You need to be researching other courses. If you want to sell an online course, you have to get familiar with the industry. Take some online courses. I've honestly learned so much from doing other courses that suck and what not to do in my own course. I've also learned what platforms I really prefer as a consumer. And sometimes it's not a case of taking the course if, say, you don't have a huge amount of income to be dropping all of these dollars on courses like willy-nilly. It sometimes is just a matter of researching, looking up sales pages, looking at someone else's modules, their lesson plan, and trying to guess where your course could do better. For example, with the Dishing Up Digital School, I noticed a lot of other social media management courses really focused quite heavily on platforms. Like there were whole modules on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, breaking down all of like the different platforms. And I don't feel that's as important as a social media manager. I think people can learn that really easily for free, or just by being a user on these platforms, you pick up a lot of things. So for me, I really wanted to focus on things like contracts, invoices, how to book clients, how to sell your services, sales psychology, and then the back-end management. Like, how do I actually go through the process of onboarding a client? How do I manage their content? How do I send them content? What does the relationship look like? How do I talk to my client? All of those things, I felt like there are a lot of courses that didn't answer those questions. Use this research to find gaps in the market for your industry and for your niche, or what niche you're thinking about. So that brings me to step number 3 and 4, which really get into the meat of planning the substance of your course. Now, I already have a name for my course because it's actually going to be linked with my book. This is the book that I'm releasing. The day that you're watching this video is the day it comes out. Please excuse this gray bar here. This is just my proof copy. The book itself is a guide for women who are wanting to change the world, conquer the world, start businesses. And it's based off a 5-part framework, which makes up the letters, or makes up the word, I should say, bitch. So it's BITCH, power is the name of the book. So in here I talk a lot about self-belief, confidence, emotional intelligence, all of that good stuff. And it's also sprinkled in with lots of other inspiring female entrepreneurship stories. But my idea is people are going to read this book and want to start a business. That's the goal. That's the goal. We want more women in business. We want more powerful CEO/SheEOs. When it comes to coming up with the idea for your course, you need to ask one very important question. What is the transformation that my audience is going to have? Grab a scrap piece of paper or pull up your computer and just really ask yourself this question. Let me pop it into the sticky note. So the software I'm using here today is called Miro. You will have seen Tara and I mention it in the vlog we uploaded a couple of weeks back. We also use it for planning all our YouTube videos, and this particular file is a bit of a brain dump for my business. So I've got all of these updates, things to do for the Dishing Up Digital School, launches, other courses that I'm starting, website updates, and then this section is for the book. I don't know who originally came up with this concept, but it's kind of very common in the course creation world to kind of profile your transformation as this A to Z or A to B. And the A is where your audience is right now, and the Z or the B, actually let's change it to B because I keep wanting to say B. This is where you want your audience to be, or where they will be once they finish your amazing course. So my A is aspiring female entrepreneurs who know they have what it takes to start a business. Let's go specifically an online business, but have no idea where to even start. Once they go through my entire course, I really want them to have, I guess, clarity. That's the word that stands out to me. Clarity on how they can make money online and a profitable business ready to launch. How do I feel about this? Is this strong enough? Now, the reason you want your transformation to be super strong is it's actually going to be the foundation of your selling technique. I just realized I don't have my glasses on. This is why I'm struggling. I really want to jump into the next step of building our online course, which is taking this and building it into individual lessons and modules. So the real secret to figuring out what your actual lessons are in this course is looking at your A to Z or A to B transformation and figuring out the steps in between A to B. My strategy is to always dump it all out in no sort of chronological order and no sense of organization, just to get the ideas out there first. Usually in the past, I've done this on sticky notes. You can see I've got my beautiful on-brand pink stack of sticky notes here. But since I've started using Miro, I've only been using this for a couple of months, so I haven't started a new course from scratch before. I'm gonna try use this software to do it. So hopefully it's as easy for me to achieve with Miro. I think it will be. So one of the things that I was actually thinking as I was filming this video was I need to have a lesson on market research, and more specifically how to do that, and show some examples. Maybe this could be a module on audience, and then we could have underneath that some lessons module. I feel like this is probably going to be like module 2 or something. Who is your audience? Where does your audience hang out? Understanding your audience and how to do market research. Yes! So as you're starting to plan out these ideas, you're probably going to start thinking about length. How long does your course need to be? I think a lot of this comes down to, number one, how big is your transformation? Like for me, my Dishing Up Digital School, how to become a social media manager, there is a lot that goes into that. Versus this course, I'm seeing is a little bit smaller because it's just coming up with the idea, getting you started. So if you're wanting to shoot for, a high ticket course around that $800 mark, I would suggest having at least 8 modules, and you want to look to have, depending on the topic, maybe like 3 to 5 lessons in each. Now, because this is going to be a free course and it's going to be going with my book, and I don't know if I mentioned this, basically you buy the book and then you get free access to the course. So there's a little bit of an incentive to buy the book even more so. But because of that, I don't want to spend like hours and hours building like a 10 module course. So I don't know, I've got module 1, the big idea, module 2, the audience. I feel like something around, I need to have an introduction somewhere. So maybe that's gonna be introduction. I'm not gonna name that as a module. It's just gonna be like in a book, in my book, you have an introduction and then you have chapter 1. I am thoroughly enjoying this Miro software. Can I just also point out the obvious? This isn't sponsored by Miro, but hit a girl up if you want to sponsor me because I'm loving this. We have reached step number 6 of this video, so it's time for an intermission. I'm taking a little bit of a break. I've skipped ahead and done number 6, so I'm going to insert a little screenshot here. But once you plan out your lesson topics, your module names, all of that kind of stuff, you need to figure out what exactly each lesson is going to look like. Using the handy dandy powers of Miro, I've also color-coded my sticky notes to explain this. But basically you want to figure out, is this video, or is it going to be a video lesson first of all, or is it going to be text-based? Like, am I just going to write something, or am I going to put a template in here or a workbook? Or is it going to be a face-to-cam video like this, me just like sitting here talking to you? Or does it need presentation notes? Or is it like a screen share tutorial of a piece of software if that's relevant to the course that you're doing? If you want to create a really good course, which I'm assuming you do because you've made it this far in my video, you really do want to have a variety in your lessons. I think it makes it much more engaging for the audience. And for me, when you're talking about quite a technical topic, I really think you need presentation notes. I like to do a combo of a presentation screen plus a little video of me in the corner while I'm presenting. And I'll talk about this a little bit more when we get to the filming part of this video and the tech and all of that. But just start thinking about how you're going to present this information, because the next step is really to create the material. Step number 7 is writing presentation notes and/or scripts. So now that I know how many lessons I need presentation notes for, I'm going to jump into Canva and probably start creating those first. I'm not a huge fan of scripting. I'll probably just do bullet points for those videos where I don't have presentation notes, but I have intentionally chosen those topics to do without presentation notes because they're quite simple ones, or it's quite easy for me to talk about. If you're new to this, you probably do want to script something and write, some full sentences out. I find this method of working is really effective and time efficient because I'm doing all of the bulk tasks at once, and then tomorrow I can get glam and pretty for filming and do all of that at once. I also think this part, this step 7, is really the guts of what you're selling, isn't it? If you don't put the time and the effort into creating good, solid lesson plans and good information in your lessons, then your students are going to end up disappointed and they're not going to be able to make that key transformation. So for now, I'm going to sit here on the couch and get started designing my presentation notes, writing my scripts, and I will catch you tomorrow, which is going to be all about filming and editing. We have reached step number 7 in creating our online course, filming day. So this is my setup, and I'm gonna cut to a clip I've filmed on my phone because obviously I'm filming on my camera for the course, so I can't show you what the camera looks like. But I use a Canon 80D, I have a Sigma lens. I'll link these or try link these in the description box below if you're interested in buying them. I also have a Shure M7 mic just on a really random mic stand, and I love this. I use this for my podcast as well. Now, it's not totally essential to have all of this gear when it comes to creating an online course. One of my favorite coaches, course creators from New Zealand as well, Sarah Airy on Instagram. I'll also link her down below. From watching her behind the scenes on Instagram stories, I know that she at least started, I'm not sure if she still does today, but for a very long time, she just filmed on the webcam on her laptop. And the key here is just to still make sure you have a nice background, you're sitting in front of a window so you have good lighting. Make an effort with whatever gear that you have to make sure that this course is good quality. I personally get really annoyed when I buy a course and I can't hear the person speaking, or one thing that gets me is if they just don't have any video FaceTime, so there's no actual person, it's just screen recordings. Going to that extra mile, again, is what's gonna help you be able to increase the price of your course and also compete with other people out there. I film set up on my desk like this, and I film just like this, a little bit further back for my face-to-cam videos. Then when it comes to my presentations, I actually record this through Zoom. And I like that because again, it has the little shot of my face up in the corner, and then I can screen share the presentation notes and move through those as well. So what I've done right now is just film all of my face-to-cam videos, the introduction, all of that kind of stuff. I've got 2 more to do, and then I'll go through and go back to doing the presentation. So again, my method for working is doing things in bulk, grouping them together, but we're gonna film these last 2 lessons and then we're gonna have a lunch break, and I'll come back with editing tips. Oh, it is many hours later. All of the filming is done, which I'm really pleased with because I was worried I wasn't gonna be able to get all of it done. I've given myself a 2-day timeline, essentially, to create this whole course. This brings us to the next step, which is editing. So when it comes to my courses, I try not to edit the videos, especially when I'm making a really big course, like when I did the Dishing Up Digital School, because that's like 60 video lessons to edit, and some of them are like up to 45 minutes long. So that's a lot of time to edit all of that. So I obviously used my external microphone, so I have to sync up the video and the audio together and then edit out all of my pauses. And Premiere Pro is a little bit of an advanced software, I would say. It's a bit of a beast. I don't even know all the full capabilities of it. But if you are new to this, I would definitely recommend something like iMovie, or my favorite app on my phone at the moment is CapCut to edit videos, and they also have a desktop version. I have tried it, it's a little bit glitchy, but it is very user-friendly. It is now time to talk about uploading your newly edited course and filmed course to some sort of hub or host website. Now, there are a lot out there. You can also go down the track of selecting something like Udemy, where it's like a big platform of other course creators. My personal preference and how I've sold all of my courses is through my own website. So I have total control, total management, it's all on me. But you do need some kind of software to help you do this. You can't just set yourself up on WordPress or Squarespace. So my agency website was originally set up on Squarespace, and when I started selling online courses, I transferred over to Kajabi. Still got a Squarespace site for my main agency, but Kajabi is where I host pretty much everything, and I love it. Kajabi really started off specializing in courses, but now they've expanded. Like, I have my podcast on there. You can do memberships and all sorts, and it handles all of your payments. You link it up with PayPal or Stripe. I just feel like Kajabi has that competitive edge. It's a beautiful customer experience, and it's also amazing for course creators on the back end. It's super user friendly. And I actually have an affiliate link which gives you a 30-day free trial, which is amazing. The free trial you get normally on the website is only 14 days. So if you use my link, I do get a portion of the fee for you signing up if you do decide to join after your free trial. But there's no extra cost to you. I'm not being sponsored in any way, shape or form. It's just a really nice way if you want to support my channel to use my affiliate link. So you can see here, these are all of my courses and one-off masterclasses, and you can just kind of like open them up and edit and add lessons to them. This is the back end preview. If you want to see what it actually looks like for my students, this is what they get. So I'm now in the process of uploading the new course, and it's super easy. It's just a matter of like adding in your modules and content. So I'm just editing the introduction videos now. So we'll make a module for that. We open up the lesson and upload our video file here. It takes a little while to upload, but what else can I show you on Kajabi? You can obviously build your entire website and landing pages. So anything you find of mine that is ellenmckenzie.com, that is coming off Kajabi. These are all of my web pages that I have. I have a lot because I have a lot of programs and offers. You can also send out newsletters, your email newsletters from here. You can put forms on here to get people to fill out forms. I've got my book waitlist on here. I don't have to worry about having, ConvertKit and then having WordPress and then having a WordPress plugin and then having something else for my podcast. And it's just so easy. It is 6 p.m. and I am just about losing daylight now. So luckily we just have 2 more steps to go. Step 11 is making a sales page. Now, some people might say if you're selling a digital product or a course, you don't need a sales page. And it's not always essential. But again, we're here to make the best, most profitable course possible. And I really think if you are selling a course that's above $15, it should have a sales page. Your sales page needs to be high quality, really juicy, really explain the depth and the content that your course covers, and coming back to that key A to B or A to B transformation. Sell that transformation. You want to start collecting up testimonials, social proof, screenshots of messages from your students, your customers, and popping that onto your sales page as well. This is really going to help those buyers who are on the fence. I usually do a full module breakdown on my sales pages, and I'll also usually include some sort of video. It's either me talking, it's a montage of clips from the course, and sometimes I also do a course walkthrough. So I screen share the course library and go through all of the video lessons. Writing a sales page is really a whole art, but if you're just getting started, I'd highly recommend just finding a template. I buy quite a few off Etsy, and there's some really talented designers out there who will give you the graphic elements, the template is all there, but it also gives you writing prompts in terms of what to include. I use those for a very long time and I love them. I've now done a copywriting course to improve my copywriting, but that's a whole other video. Finally, step number 12, the final step is selling our course. Now that we have all the pieces together, we need to sell it. Now, one thing I didn't mention is the first time I made an online course, I actually made and filmed and edited only the first module. Then I went ahead and sold it just to validate my idea before I went and filmed an entire course. This could be a good idea for you with your first courses, just to make sure there's a market, that it's going to be profitable, people are going to buy it. And then basically what you do is you drip feed the content. So you say immediate access to the first module, and then the following modules will follow weekly, and then you just film and update them every week. Now I tend to build the full course because I do a lot of market research beforehand and make sure it's what my audience wants, and now I have a bit of a larger audience. That also makes it easier as well. One of the biggest lessons I've learned about selling online courses is if you're not talking about it and actively promoting it, people don't buy it. So for me, I always have campaigns planned out throughout the year where I'll do a live webinar, which is free to get people along, or I'll do some kind of discount or promotion or a bundle deal, because everyone always talks about passive sales and putting your course on Evergreen and it will just work and sell overnight without you doing anything. This is totally false. Your course needs consistent time, effort, and love poured into its marketing. My favorite ways to market my courses are YouTube videos like this. It gives people a snippet of my teaching style, and then they can click over to my website, buy my courses to go further. I'm also obviously on Instagram and TikTok. That kind of goes without saying in this sort of day and age. And I also have a podcast, which I very regularly have like ad slots or pointers to courses or my free webinars that then lead a funnel down to my courses. Before your first course, you can just get started by simply posting about it on social media, do a bit of a launch buzz, do an early bird discount and see what magic you can create. On that note, I'm going to leave a link below, which is my website, ellenmckenzie.com/courses, and that has all of my current courses available to purchase. I do also have another page on my website which has some one-off masterclasses, but of course, if you want to actually go take the course that I have been showing you the process of building in this video, it is now live officially. Today, the day you're watching this, is my book launch date, which is so crazy. So all you have to do is buy the book, then head to my website, insert your purchase screenshot, and then you get free access to the course. So I would really appreciate any support and love on the book. If you can't afford to buy it right now, that is totally okay. I really appreciate you just watching this video and supporting my content that way. And with that all out of the way, it's time to say goodbye. I am so tired. My boyfriend's making a margarita for me downstairs, or he will be shortly, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my evening, and I hope you guys have a lovely day/evening wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!